and keep on fighting.
Tim, when did you come into this?
I was right by the front of the transit cruiser. I knew that if he was going to get away, obviously he was going to kill more innocent people in the future. I engaged him in gunfire. Once I couldn't shoot at him anymore based on his distance. I reloaded. I heard someone yell behind me, "I'm hit." I turned around, ran to the driveway where I found Officer Donahue. He was with his transit partner. He went down to the ground. He said, "I'm hit in the groin." Right away, just assure him, like, "Are you going to be okay?" Even if he's not going to be, you just tell him he's going to be okay. Then it seemed like his leg just opened up like a faucet, blood everywhere. So I'm kneeling down next to him. I pull a tourniquet out of my pocket. Me and another officer try to put that on him, but due to where he was shot, it was too high in the groin for a tourniquet to be used. So then I just almost did like a CPR move and pushed my hands into the wound just to try to stem the flow of blood. It didn't seem to help too much, though. Just blood was just ballooning around us. He quickly lost consciousness, went pale white. I know there was Harvard University police on scene, Boston police. Officer Reynolds arrived with a medical bag and decided to give an oxygen to Officer Donahue. They started chest compressions after ripping off his vest. Calling for the rescue like crazy. That ends up showing up on scene, the Watertown rescue. My brother, a firefighter, gets out of the driver passenger side. He comes up on scene with Jimmy Caruso, another firefighter.
So it's your brother who shows up with the ambulance.
He showed up on scene, yeah. So we basically locked eyes and had a moment where he's like, I knew he was like, thank you're not the one on the ground, because I think driving that he thought it might have been.
He had heard the radio traffic that there was an officer down.
Yes,
and he was worried that it could be his brother Tim.
Yeah, exactly. I think the first reports were that a Watertown police officer was down, and he didn't know whether I was off duty yet or. And then when we saw each other, just had that momentary recognition in the eyes. And so all of a sudden, Donahue was just in the air. Like, I don't even remember helping pick him up, but just like a feather. Tossed in the back of the ambulance with my brother and Jimmy Caruso. And then Trooper Dumont from the state, who's a paramedic, gets in the back. And they start working on him. I think a transit cop yelled out. He's like, "Who knows the streets? Who's going to drive to the hospital?" So I run over, I hop in the driver's seat. Donahue's partner hops in passenger seat.
Because the team that drove this ambulance there is now in the back trying to save the life, so the regular driver is back there trying to save Officer Donahue's life.
So they need a driver. Exactly. They're working to save him as best they can. So I just hop in the driver's seat, and we tear off out of there, trying to get to Mount Auburn as fast as possible.
And you'd never driven one of these things before?
No.
Now, that's what